some people are just like, they're like, oh my gosh, people don't even probate because they can't afford it. In Arizona, from a probate perspective, obviously estate planning is a whole different ballgame. What what would you say is typical cost, like on the low end, average, and high? I mean, it could be super expensive, but what does that typically cost to hire a competent attorney to do your probate in Arizona?
So I think different attorneys charge different rates. For the most part, I like to do kind of a mixed fee schedule because in probates, you can't always anticipate the things that are going to come up. I know a lot of probate attorneys are only willing to do hourly because you can't anticipate all of the things that are going to happen. But for the most part, I find that a lot of my probates are straightforward. And so I do a flat rate for that of $2,500. I also charge an additional $1,000 that I hold as a retainer in case we need to do additional things down the line. If you want to do a life estate deed for family members that are residing in the home and we need to create that deed, and that's not typically a part of the package, disclaimer deeds and dealing with some creditor issues, having to reach out to businesses and the partners to try and force them to give me their records and give me their information. Some of those things are outside the scope of what I would typically do for a straightforward probate. And so obviously I talk to my clients about that beforehand. For formal probates and for trust administrations, I usually only do those hourly. And the reason for that is because in those situations, I mean this with all due respect, I have no idea how much handholding you're going to need. I meet clients where they tell me what to do. I will go do it. Thank you for your letter. This is enough instruction. And I'm happy to give you a refund at the end of the probate, at the end of the trust admin. If you don't need me, you don't need me. I'm here to make sure that what you're doing is right. But I deal with a lot of people who they check in on every little thing. They want to call me about every single thing. They want me on the phone with their banker. They want me on the phone with all of these things. And so you can't always anticipate that. And I have to make sure that I'm billing for my time and that I'm taking care of what I need to take care of for my business. And so I really only do those hourly. But for a straightforward probate, typically when you're not dealing with a litany of issues, we can get that done pretty affordably, I think.
I think that's probably the number one hurdle we see. And I've bought houses and I've paid for people's probates because they really just couldn't afford it. And then my attorney and whatever agreed to get reimbursed at closing. We secure some liens on the property or whatever to ensure that it does get paid back. But some people are just like, they're like, oh my gosh, people don't even probate because they can't afford it. And then it's like, well, now you're only creating, I've seen multiple generations of families who've never probated. And then the granddaughter comes to us and wants to sell grandma's house. And I'm like, yeah, we got to probate like 3 estates now. Sorry. Like,